Yo, what's up? This is Splendid Radio on Pharcyde TV. Toast to my co-host Jeremy Scipio. He has a very good reason for not being here tonight, and we'll probably discuss that. We'll probably discuss that next week, but it's a better reason than the other times. But this interview right here has been long in the making, man. I've been wanting to do this one, and I was trying to figure out when would be the best time, and it's kind of it's a lot of cheating because I know I know too much information, but I'm not gonna really ask what people would probably think that I would ask, but I think I have a pretty cool interview. So with all that being said, man, we got Bootie Brown, MC, dancer, producer, tech guru, my tech guru. I thought between him and Mike Ram, I toss him up, you know what I'm saying? Pause, to get my to keep me technologically involved in this fast-paced world of technology. But with all that being said, when was the first time you heard hip hop and what was the song?
Sheesh. I would say, hold on, let me turn down.
To keep me technologically involved in this.
Okay, I would say the first time I heard some hip hop would have been through my mom giving me a 45 set of records. And in that 45 set of records was a record called Pigmeat Markham called Here Comes the Judge. And I wasn't thinking that was rap, because I don't even think hip hop was, I wasn't even familiar with hip hop was when I got that record. I just thought it was funny, and it just had a dope break beat at the beginning, and then the guy was, here comes the judge, here comes the judge. So that record was made in like 73, I think.
Okay.
So that was my first time hearing something like that, for sure.
Yeah, my first time hearing hip hop, my sister, and it's crazy because my sister, I don't think that she necessarily liked hip hop, but she was, back in the late 70s, it was just a thing to go to the record shop. And so she bought a Sugar Hill record, and it wasn't Rapper's Delight, but it was something about a birthday or something like that or whatever. And I just listened to the song over and over and over again, but it really didn't have the impact that I had when I was in junior high school and with MTV. Like MTV just really changed the game. So
I say after that for me would definitely be my cousins, because my cousin had the Pinto in Compton, and she had a little, she had a little sound in it, and she would ride out to the Compton swap meet in the Rhodium, and so she had some Too Short like way early, and then she had of course it was like the NWA and stuff like that, like early NWA, like what I'm saying, swap meet mixtape NWA kind of stuff. So just real early kind of stuff. So that was the first time, like around that time was like the first kind of stuff, for sure.
Hey man, that's dope. Just thinking about this, I'm gonna tell you how powerful the culture surrounding hip hop, because this wasn't necessarily hip hop. We're gonna get into your dancing in a little bit. And I saw the podcast that you did yesterday, and you're talking about the trendy days and dancing and all that kind of stuff. Man, let me tell you how powerful trendy music, like the Cybertrons and the Kraftwerks and the Deso Des and like all that stuff, that and DJ culture, it was so powerful to me that my mom's best friend in about 1982, he was spoiled. He was raised, his father wasn't really present, and his mother was a nurse, and she just spoiled him. Like, dude, he had motorcycles, he had dirt bikes, he had, every single thing. So he had some turntables. So you know, like 81, I had no idea of, like, I knew a turntable played a record, but I just didn't know whatever. So I went to his house and he was showing me how he would mix like Cybertron and Kraftwerk and all that stuff, but he would also like he would use turntables and do a pause mix. So it was like he had all kinds of stuff going on. And it was so powerful that I stole this mixtape, man. I stole this mixtape. Oh man, the music was so like I had never heard anything like that. So you know,
you paying for that right now, man.
come on, man.
The hip hop guys are striking down on you for taking the assets.
I paid for it then because I left and got home, and I don't even know how he missed it. He had a million tapes, but maybe I took the dopest one. My mother was like, "Did you take that boy's tape?" And I was like, "Nah, I didn't take it."
Oh, you lied too. Oh man, you put mayonnaise on the bread.
Yeah, but long story short, man, I came up on the tape, man, and I apologized, and homeboy kind of took me up under his wings and showed me a little bit of mixing and whatnot. But I just say that to say hip hop and just DJ culture and all that stuff was so powerful. It just kind of like it just took me over. You know what I'm saying? It really took me over. So with you being an MC producer, you've been, you know, you've got a couple passport stamps in your book and whatnot. How do you think hip hop influences the world?
Influences the world. Wow. I mean, it's definitely in everything now. I mean, you know what I'm saying? So, geez, I don't know if you can, I don't know if you want to say here. I think when I really break it down, I almost feel like the term hip hop is kind of like past tense of what it is now. I think like, I mean, hip hop has definitely affected the world in everything that we do. I mean, but I think like now what's going on, because hip hop has, or the term hip hop, or what we thought was hip hop, has so many variations now. Like it's like rock and roll. I mean, like when, you know, like back in the day, like, okay, like there was this version of hip hop, but now it's like, it's kind of like electronic music, you know what I'm saying? Like you can't say like there's house, there's techno, there's this, there's that. And I think like hip hop is kind of on that same thing now, where it's like, okay, like when you say how has hip hop affected music, I think like it's done metamorphosized into so many different variations that you could be listening to hip hop and you wouldn't even think that was what somebody would say, man, that's hip hop. And then you'd be like, that's not the hip hop I know. But then like, because it's been changed and rolled over and rolled out and kneaded again and thrown back out, like it's just so many variations. So I just say like hip hop is kind of like, it's in there with the rock and roll. It's in that, like asking that question would be like, how has rock and roll affected the world, or how has jazz music affected the world? I think now to these days, you know what I'm saying? So but I just think that the term hip hop, like, I don't know, it's just like, I almost feel like, I don't know, like it just seems like we should get some new terms for music now, like, because like rock is not the same rock, like unless you listen to something back in the day, and then like when people hear that or people bring it up, it don't hit the same. I don't know.
You know, me thinking about that question, because I ask it to everybody. You know, and it dates me, and it's like kind of like what's relevant to me. But when I think of how hip hop influences the world, I always get a picture of Fab Five Freddy in my mind, and I'm like, he was like one of the first influencers. Like he was the bridge to like so many different things. And then I think about when he was on Truth Seekers Radio, and Santana had me come down because Santana was cool with him, and Santana interviewed him, and I got to kind of sit in on it and everything. It was interesting because Fab Five Freddy was cool with everybody. And it was like through his knowledge of music, his connections, through everything, he was like that thing that connected so much. Like he was cool with everybody from the Beastie Boys to Blondie to the Clash to like all these different things. So with that being said, what was your favorite hip hop movie? Or what is your favorite hip hop movie?
Favorite hip hop movie? I say Star Wars.
Style Wars?
Style Wars.
Yeah.
Would be yeah, that would be my favorite.
I've never seen it, never seen it, never. I've heard of it, but
yeah, Star Wars is like Star Wars is like original, like yeah, that would be my favorite. It was mostly about graffiti arts, like real, but like yeah, Star Wars would be my favorite. After that, I would say I would have to jump up and go like to tougher than leather, you know what I'm saying? Like, DNC, you know what I'm saying? I would go like, but I mean, it's so crazy because it depends on what you call a hip hop movie, like, because now like somebody would call Nino Brown's movie, they would say, oh, that's a hip hop movie, you know what I'm saying? Or somebody would say Juice, you know what I'm saying? So like I mean, it had aspects of hip hop in it, you know what I'm saying? But I like when I think hip hop movie, I'm thinking like directly like the culture kind of whatever. Like to me, like Juice was like people that was involved in the culture. I mean, I don't know. It's just a weird kind of thing of just saying because it was more dramatic to me. Like Tupac and the way that he like, you know what I'm saying? Like, I mean, you always gonna have some dramatics in movies, but that's just my take on it.
Dope. I want to give a shout out to Ben Frank, man. He rocks with us heavy. You know what I'm saying?
Frank, you know what I'm saying? I ain't talked to Ben Frank in a long time, you know what I'm saying? Peace, Ben, you know what I'm saying? Peace, everybody.
Yeah, we don't have too many people that rock with us like Ben, so I gotta shout him out.
Shout out Ben for sure.
Yeah, so you were the first person. I want to say when I got my first Mac, maybe around 2001, 2002. You put Wild Style on a hard drive, or you gave some kind of way. We were flying somewhere, and you gave me a couple of movies, and Wild Style was one of them. And I had never seen Wild Style before that, man. Like I had never seen. And it's like, to me, hip hop started with hip hop movies. In my experience, started with Crush Groove. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. I forgot about Crush Groove. Yeah. That's a good one.
And it was interesting because I saw Crush Groove after I promoted a party with Whipper Whip. And so I didn't understand why. Okay, so Whipper Whip, it was back when I guess maybe Lab Cabin, when you guys were kind of recording Lab Cabin, and like in that time, 93, 94-ish, around then.
Jungle time.
Yeah. And all these people were making the biggest deal about Whipper Whip. And I was kind of like, I know he's Zulu Nation, da 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 da. But I'm like, man, everybody's going crazy over this dude. And not that he wasn't a cool dude or anything, but I couldn't get it. And then I saw Wild Style, and I didn't see the older, slightly heavier Whipper Whip, but I saw this young, dapper Whipper Whip busting on the microphone. And I was like, oh, it all makes sense. Him being in that movie, one of the early hip hop movies, and him being an MC, along with what he's done with Zulu Nation and whatnot, that donned him all the respect. Because man,
you gotta think like, dude. So when you saw Whipper Whip back then, you gotta think Wild Style was almost 20 years old when you were seeing them back then. You know what I'm saying? So you kind of had to do your history to kind of know back then who the dude was. You know what I'm saying? It wasn't like it was like a brand new movie that you were seeing. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, I know. I'll tell you this though. We had a couple things fall through with the guests that we were supposed to have for for the party we promoted. And I know last minute he pulled, because he was hell of a cool with Ice-T. But last minute he pulled Everlast, Cypress Hill. Like he pulled all these people. Well, not Cypress Hill, but Be Real. I think Be Real and maybe Be Real and Bobo. No, Bobo wasn't it. It was Be Real and Sin. They just came through, but Muggs didn't come. But like he pulled a gang of people to this party that we promoted, and we were supposed to have Brand Nubian, and they claimed that the plane tickets didn't work out and whatnot. But I was kind of like, you know what? Maybe
I think during those times in LA, during that, I mean, man, the Zulu Nation had a lot, you know what I'm saying? So like they could make a call to
man,
or in Japan, and Honda would be out here, Yutaka would drop by. So it's just
Yutaka DJ'd that night. Yeah.
So you just gotta think like the Zulu Nation at that time, we'll say pre-Bambadalistics, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like was a little bit more controlled and
a lot of prestige, man. A lot of prestige. It was and you know, that was when they really weren't letting anybody come into Zulu Nation. So it was like kind of like a ooh and
you get in, but you had to, you have to pay the Zulu dues, you know what I'm saying? Pay Zulu dues. But I'm not saying nothing's wrong with that, but that's what it was, you know what I'm saying? A lot of people was doing that, you know what I'm saying? Black Watch movement, you know what I'm saying?
Man.
A lot of people had those dues you had to pay, you know what I'm saying? That's what it was.
Yeah, you know, that's funny. Speaking of Black Watch, that's where I remember Don from. You know what I'm saying? Like he was very into that thing, and then it turned into something different. But those were dope times. So you went to school in Pasadena?
Correct.
All right. Your middle school soundtrack, what kind of music were you listening to at the time?
Middle school soundtrack, I would say I probably had just bought my first record, which I went to Zodi's. Zodi's was on Central, I think at the time. Central, and no, not Central, I'm sorry. Imperial, and like Vermont, I think. I think, and I bought Parliament. I bought Parliament, Aqua Boogie, and I bought Zap. I bought not Zap, but I bought Roger, because I heard it through the grapevine was, man, that was just a cut, you know what I'm saying? So yeah, that was I would say I was more funk driven when I was buying my own records, because I don't know, man. That was just the gangster bump, man. Like, you know what I'm saying? That's what it was. I fools pop locking and stuff like that. And that was just what it was.
So, okay.
Yeah. My father and mother had all the other stuff kind of locked, where like the Motown and the rock and roll and the Jimi Hendrix and that kind of stuff, you know what I'm saying? So I was trying to find what, I could kind of nestle on my own at that time, for sure.
I was brought up kind of as a square kid, but I do remember George Clinton with those wigs and them boots scared the hell out of me, man. You know what I'm saying? But I got past the fear and got to the funk, but the fear was definitely a wall before I was able to scale it to get to the funk.
Nah, man, I was you know what I'm saying? I was the bird call and Sir Nose, and man, getting the record with the cutout Bootsy glasses. Couldn't wait to get it so I could just tear it out from the back and wear the star glasses.
Man, marketing at its best.
For sure.
All right. So basically, I appreciate your patience, because my thing is, I know so much about you.
No, you answer questions and people.
Yeah, it's not about me. You know what I'm saying? It's really not about me. I kind of just want to build up to how you got to where you are, and we're gonna get into that. So anybody who's like, let me belabor you for a minute, but we're gonna get there. Don't trip. So your senior year of high school.
Okay.
what did you think you were going to be doing after high school?
Sports, because I was playing football and I was running track, and we had a pretty good football squad. And one of the alumni from the football was like, man, if you signed up, I can probably get you to San Diego State to go play football. But he's like, if you don't do it there, you can go to PCC, and then you play there for a year, then go whatever. So he was playing at Tennessee at the time. So I was like, okay, that sounds good. And I waited and I waited, and I didn't see no type of scholarship or anything coming from anybody. And man, I was too proud to stay at the house. Me and my dad, we just two men in the house. Wasn't like our house wasn't big enough, you know what I'm saying?
Two alphas.
So I was like, I gotta get out of here. So I say, like, dude, I had my mom go down, because I think at that time the recruiting offices, I think recruiters were like going to every high school, you know, like, hey man, what you want to do? You know what I'm saying? What you want to do? So it was like 3 or 4, but it was like 4 guys of us that was like, we just gonna go to the service. Let's just go. You know what I'm saying? So day after prom, I was shipped out. I was on the train, head to San Diego, man. That was it. It was a wrap.
Dang. So I'm gonna let you fill in some of the gaps, but the reason that you and I kind of became tight, you know, first of it, and then dude, to your fans, to anybody watching, not because Brown is my business partner and all that whole other stuff, but he's a good guy, man. He's really a good guy. So my first real girlfriend cheated on me with somebody that was, you know, involved with the Pharcyde or whatever. And I knew that it happened because so many different people was telling me from different directions. And so there was a number that went to the studio where that was kind of like the Pharcyde home base at the time. So we knew who each other were, but we weren't cool at all. So I remember I called
Uh-oh, bros. Yo, bros. Everything froze. Don't know what happened. He got locked out.